औज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश्शैतानिर्रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम अल्हम्दुलिल्लाहिल्लज़ी आफ़ानी मिम्मब्तलाका बिही व फ़ज़्ज़लनी अला कसीरिम मिम्मन ख़लक़ तफ़ज़ीला बिस्मिल्लाहिल्लज़ी ला यज़ुर्रु मा इस्मिही शैउन फ़िल अर्दि वला फ़िस समाइ व हुवस समीउल अलीम। My dear students of first year MBBS, let's talk about the circulatory system, that is the blood vessels and the chambers of the heart. The circulatory system comprises of the two divisions. One is the blood vascular system and the other is the lymph vascular system. Today I am going to talk about the blood vessels, the histology of the blood vessels. The entire vascular system is internally lined by a simple squamous epithelium. Already I have told you that is known as the endothelium. The simple squamous epithelium which lines the blood vessels and the chambers of the heart is called endothelium. As regards the blood vascular system, this division of the circulatory system distributes it is the division of the circulatory system which distributes the nutrients, oxygen and hormones to all parts of the body and removes the cellular products of metabolism from the tissues. This system includes the heart and the arteries and the capillaries and the veins. Heart is a big pump which pumps the blood into the circulation through the arterial side of the circulation, and then in between the arterial and the venous side of the circulation we have got a network of capillaries. Capillaries are delicate endothelial tubes that connect the arterial and venous side of the circulation. The smallest unit of the blood vessels, these are the capillaries, and capillaries are very delicate endothelial tubes actually. They connect the arterial and venous sides of the circulation and they have an average diameter of 7 to 9 microns and arranged in the form of the networks. सबसे छोटी blood vessel capillary कहलाती है और कैपिलरी जो है वो एक सिंगल लेयर्ड ट्यूब है जो कि एंडोथेलियल सेल्स पर मुश्तमिल है. Endothelial cells are arranged as a mosaic with their long axis parallel to the long axis of the capillary. The cell borders are usually serrated or wavy. You can see in this diagram. This is one of the capillaries. Endothelial cells are arranged as a mosaic with their long axis parallel to the long axis of the capillary. The cell borders are usually serrated or wavy. When cut transversely, the wall of a capillary is seen to consist of portions of 2 or 3 endothelial cells. This is the cross section of the capillary. You can see the nucleus of the endothelial cells. The endothelial cells are the squamous cells which are spindle shaped, having the out bulging central portion which contains the nucleus. Adjacent endothelial cells are held together by the occluding junctions. Outer to the basal lamina of the endothelium is present a thin layer of delicate connective tissue which consists of collagenous and reticular fibers. In addition, elongated cells having cytoplasmic processes may also be found to be scattered along the capillary wall, and these cells are known as the pericytes of the capillaries. Functional role of the pericytes is not well understood. Some authorities believe that these cells possess contractile properties and thus may exert some influence upon the luminal diameter of the capillaries. Capillaries are of 3 types. There are continuous capillaries, there are fenestrated capillaries, and there are sinusoidal capillaries. The continuous capillaries do not have any pores, gaps or discontinuities in their walls. The cytoplasm of the lining endothelial cells show numerous small vesicles called pinocytotic vesicles. So the transfer of the materials, that is fluids, is through this process of pinocytosis. So what is pinocytosis? Pinocytosis is actually endocytosis in which a pinocytotic vesicle is formed on one surface of the cell by an invagination of the plasma lemma. subsequently detaches itself, crosses the cytoplasm and fuses with the cell membrane on the opposite surface of the cell. Adjacent cells that are held together with tight junctions, intercellular clefts of unjoined membranes that allow the passage of fluids. Continuous capillaries of the brain have tight junctions completely around the endothelium, so they constitute the blood-brain barrier. So this is the continuous capillary. You can see that this capillary has got the continuous basal lamina. The endothelial cells are lying over this basal lamina. There are no gaps in between these endothelial cells, and there are no pores, as I will tell you. But there are tight junctions. You can see the cells are tightly bound together. The endothelial cell has got the nucleus, which is present in the center of the cell, and there are a lot of pinocytotic vesicles you can see in the cytoplasm. The fenestrated capillaries are found wherever active capillary absorption or filtrate formation occurs, for example in the small intestines, the endocrine glands and the kidneys. They are characterized by an endothelium which has got pores, that is the fenestrations. These pores, they are 60 to 80 nanometers in diameter, and these pores have got no cytoplasm in front of, so there are also, these pores are covered by a diaphragm which is thin as compared to the actual normal cell membrane. So there is a greater permeability to solutes and fluids than other capillaries. So this is the, can you see the fenestrated capillaries? This variety of capillary has got the numerous pores. You can see these pores inside. So the cells, they are lying over the basal lamina, but there are tight junction in between the cells, and there are intercellular clefts present. Fenestrations are the pores you can see, and these type of capillaries are present in the intestinal mucosa, the endocrine glands, the choroid plexus, the ciliary body. Then let's talk about the sinusoids. Sinusoids we have already studied in the case of the spleen. These are highly modified leaky fenestrated capillaries with large lumen. 30 to 40 microns is the diameter of these type of capillaries. They are found in the liver, the bone marrow, the lymphoid tissue, and in some endocrine glands like the hypophysis cerebri and the suprarenal glands. These type of sinusoidal capillaries, they have got a discontinuous basal lamina. There are clefts, or there are gaps in between the endothelial cells. They allow large molecules, that is the proteins and blood cells, to pass between the blood and surrounding tissues. Blood flows sluggishly, allowing for the modification in various ways. So these are the sinusoids. You can see the wall of the sinusoid. There are incomplete basement membranes. Large intercellular clefts are seen, that is the gaps in between the endothelial cells. Another very important feature of the sinusoid, the lining of the sinusoid, is that there are the cells which are phagocytic cells, and they belong to MPS, that is mononuclear phagocyte system. And these cells we have studied in the case of the spleen. In the splenic sinusoids there was a littoral cell, and we will study in the case of the liver. There will be in the liver sinusoids the Kupffer cells, and these cells are phagocytic. They engulf the foreign particles, so they play a role in the defense of the body against the invading organisms. So these phagocytic cells are also one of the very important property of the sinusoids.